This is Roland Mumford with Mumford.law. This video I wanted to do about why did I stop practicing divorce law? The number one reason was a local judge that motivated me to stop practicing divorce law last August. The second reason, and the main reason, is after 1,000 divorces, which is a moderate level of volume for a solo practitioner, your bandwidth, your emotional bandwidth for dealing with emotional clients, and justifiably so. They're going through one of the toughest things that a person can go through, and that's the dissolution of their marriage. But very often with these clients, when they come in to meet with you, and God bless them, most of my clients were wonderful, they want to treat you as if you're their marital counselor. And while obviously we want to have sympathy and empathy, we have to maintain a business relationship, so to speak. I have to analyze the marital estate, the issues of custody, and my emotional bandwidth just became raw. I became numb, and I noticed that the trend for clients no longer retaining me and going and hiring another attorney, which is extremely common in divorce law, started increasing, and I understood. I just did not have the emotional bandwidth anymore to do it. And unfortunately, in divorce law, particularly when it comes to parenting time, imagine a scoreboard, 365 days. That's all that two parents can split for parenting time. X plus Y equals parenting time. And they are fighting over one wants X, the other parent wants Y. And what goes into that? Mother may have justifiable reasons to believe that father should not have more than every other weekend because he's putting his drinking 5, 6, 8, 12 beers every night as a priority over the children instead of going to AA, for example. Or maybe there's an issue about the distance between the two homes. It's very difficult to do equal parenting time if the two people are living more than maybe 15 minutes apart from each other, because that child has to go to one school, has to be zoned for one school district. And if the other parent has to get up at 5:30 in the morning and take their kids to get them there by whatever time it may be due to the distance, that's not stability for the child. And of course, you're just not going to do that. And one of the major factors that judges look at for whether to do equal parenting time is how do the two parents get along? And particularly if you got an alimony battle or there's allegations of adultery or abuse, I don't care how good the intentions are of each parent, they cannot let go of that anger, that resentment towards the other parent. And I get it. It's very hard to work with the other parent, set aside those emotional issues to put the children first. It's difficult to do. But for many mothers or fathers, either party, it's a competition. It's about having an advantage. And for some lawyers, particularly one I can think of who has a high volume divorce practice in the town that I live, it's a scoreboard. It's wife versus husband, and somebody wants that 285 versus 80 days. Or in mediation, they're just fighting over days. And when you're fighting over days of parenting time, we're talking about the relationship of that father with that child, because the majority of the time it's the father that gets the 80 days. Sometimes it's the opposite. But for the most part, that's what it is. And I just didn't have it in me anymore. I do still, in certain situations, will do a uncontested divorce. I mean, I've had uncontested divorces where the parties, I thought were going to do it right there on my table. I'm like, why are you guys getting divorced? And they say they're better, they get along better as friends. And then obviously in other situations, I thought we were going to have to call the police. I actually had a very strange instance one time. The client was sitting in my office and he goes, I think my wife's tracking me somehow. She seems to know where I am. She put something on my phone. And I swear, not 10 minutes later, the wife entered my law office, went by my receptionist, stormed into my office, and in fact, that's what had happened. Somehow she had been following him on his phone, and his car was parked in a discreet area behind my office. And she had the nerve to enter my office under the excuse that she needed a copy of the health insurance card for a doctor's appointment for the child. That was just one of the most, I threw her out of the office, one of the most bizarre circumstances I've had. Divorce law is very, very difficult to do. To maintain that separation of, you got to be professional. But when you go home at night, you have to separate the emotional angst that comes with doing divorce cases because you want to zealously advocate for your clients. And after 1,000 or more divorces, 18 years of doing it, I just can no longer do it anymore. But in August of 2024, a particular judge, and the way that he treated me in his courtroom, motivated me to stop practicing divorce law, and that was the end of it. But divorce law is so difficult. And I'm curious about if any of you that watch my channel may be attorneys, if you do divorces, what are your experiences with it? Or for those of you that have gone through a divorce and you hired an attorney, put in the comments section what it is that you expect from a divorce attorney. Obviously, beyond just understanding the law about the marital estate, custody factors, child support factors, alimony factors. Let me know what you expect. I can understand that when a party comes into their office, they want their lawyer to be a therapist, but we just can't do it. We have to separate. We have to be objective as much as possible because we can only take so much. I think clients forget that their divorce case is not the only divorce case that we have. So, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day.